We are in a society where a lot of what we've been taught and told and sold is not necessarily to benefit us at the end of the day. And maybe it's not even nefarious, but it's there for a different purpose, which is ultimately to generate profit. And I'm coming at this from a perspective of a sales director. So my expertise, my career is actually in sales. I love sales. I literally love capitalism. I am not hating on capitalism for 1 second. I think, that's probably one of the best things that a society could have access to is capitalism. I'm there for it, right? And with that said, I have kind of realized that so much of what I think we struggle with in society is this mixed information that we get from companies who are trying to tell us a story. And the thing with sales is that there's usually always a story attached to something. And ultimately, the point is to take us down a journey in this story, to tell us something that has us arrive at a decision or a subconscious feeling that, generates profit for that company. And for our society, I think something that I've realized in coaching and as a carnivore coach, and I decided to stop drinking when I was 25, 26 years old, is that honestly, doing things that are, I wouldn't say against the grain necessarily, but sometimes doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing, if everybody else is doing it, is sometimes the way to go. And I keep seeing this turn up over and over and over and over again. So what do I mean by that? At the end of the day, what we're all trying to do is be happy. We're all trying to be the best versions of ourselves that could be. And even if that doesn't mean like running marathons or whatever, that just means I just want to be happy. Like I just want to make good money. I want to have good friends. I want to have a good life. I don't want to be sick. I want to be happy. That is what we all want, like at a baseline. Often I find that as I explore life, that so much of the things that we've been told, taught and sold have this tendency to almost like lower our frequency, lower our vibration in a way that at the end of the day does the opposite effect to making us happy. It actually makes us unhappy. It makes us sick and sad. And it's because of the programming and the information that we're being given for the purpose of not intentionally making us better, but to make us spend money. Some examples of this that I've discovered are drinking. Drinking is one of those things that everybody has to decide for themselves what their relationship is to it. It's certainly not my place to tell anybody how to live their life with alcohol. I think there's some people out there that, drink and that's fine and that's good with them and it works for them. And then there's some people that, like me, I absolutely should not drink and that's just the reality of it. So to each his own for sure on that. But for sure, alcohol is a substance that lowers our frequency. And what does that mean? Well, as like existing beings in this universe, everything has an atomic level frequency. Everything vibrates at a specific rate unique to itself. So even emotions have frequencies. The lowest there's like a whole list, if you will, of frequencies top to bottom, kind of like a scale. The highest frequency, the best feeling, the most high energy, most positive frequency one could feel is joy. It's been measured. The lowest frequency that one could feel that has been measured is shame. And it's all the things in between that: jealousy, worry, angst, frustration, positive kind of like outlook, or optimistic is more so the word, and it goes all the way up until joy. These are measured frequencies based off of the rate of vibrations. And one of the things that I learned with alcohol is that it lowers our frequency. Maybe not in the moment. Actually, when I drank, one of the things that was so fun about it is that I really felt really freaking good when I drank. I would drink and it was like this euphoria. It was like this awesome, best feeling ever feeling. And that was awesome. Like the thing is I would keep drinking. And then the next day I'd wake up and it was like massive anxiety, not always, but tired, didn't sleep really well, that kind of stuff. So it's fine, whatever. If you do that once in a while, for me, once in a while, that'd be fine. But the thing is, in our culture, we're just taught through subliminal marketing and sales and all that drinking is kind of what one does. That's normal. That's normal. It's a normal way to be. That it's normal to drink every weekend. That it's normal to be at every single dinner party, a part of every dinner, every time you go out, work gatherings, everything. That it's normal to drink, and up until recently, it's been abnormal to not drink. People are like, "What's wrong? What's up with that?" Well, for me, as I tied together week over week over week over week over week together of drinking on Fridays and Saturdays, what goes up must come down. So my frequency would raise high artificially because I was drinking in those moments with the euphoria. But then the days that I wasn't drinking, like the Saturday after the Friday night, and then the Sunday after the Saturday night, and then the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, my frequency was vibrating at a much lower level than baseline. And this, is also a real tangible thing if we consider what dopamine is. Dopamine is measured in the mind and the body. It has a baseline that it wants to stay at. When we drink or if we have sugar or whatever, we shoot our dopamine levels up very high artificially. And as a balancing mechanism for itself, it will then shoot itself lower than baseline to kind of like autocorrect, because this is a chemical in the brain. So you can think of it as frequencies, you can think of this as dopamine, however it makes sense. I came to realize that there is actually something going on in my mind that's making me consistently less happy. Even though, we've been told that it's normal to drink and that it's part of the day and it's part of life. And, no one's outright saying that, but again, everybody does it. So if everybody's doing it, that has to mean that there's some kind of messaging, some kind of information coming from somewhere telling us that it's normal. So why? And the same thing goes for ultra-processed foods. We have been told probably one of the biggest sales stories and programs ever that ultra-processed foods is food. And I can tell you for sure, and I had to learn for myself for sure, that is absolutely false. Ultra-processed food is dead food. It's not real. It's not real food. It is there to have a long shelf life for companies to sell it. Just like people like you and me, they're not necessarily evil people, right? But they built a thing that they put addictive chemicals into so that we keep wanting to eat the things. So like processed sugars and, different chemicals and dyes and all that stuff that make it desirable and make it very hard for our palate to deny it because it's sweet or it's salty. And we have been told that that's normal to consume. That, for example, fast food is normal. We've been told that, all the packaged stuff you see in the gas station is normal. We've been told and sold that, anything packaged, let's say, even if it has like something to do with breakfast on it, pancakes or cookies or whatever, ice cream, is normal. And that a lot of people even talk about moderation is the key, which for some people maybe that's the way. But you know what? I think that's crap. We have been taught and told and sold information from other people who just want to do the thing that we all want to do, which is make money to generate profit for themselves. And, it's the same thing with the frequencies and vibrations. Now that I'm a carnivore coach and I have implemented this not only in my own life, but working with other people, there is a real relationship between the food that we eat and the things that we feel, the thoughts that we think. Just like being hungover from alcohol, we get hungover from food too. One of the reasons we get hungover from alcohol is because alcohol breaks down in our gut as sugar. So we're breaking the carb down into sugar. There's not like there's sugar added to alcohol, but it breaks down in the liver as sugar. So we're processing that in our body. the same things happen with ultra processed foods. We're literally breaking down sugar in our body so that we can, digest it. So it's actually the same kind of thing that's happening. And because of that, the same issue with the frequency, I think, comes into play of, okay, you're putting essentially poison in your body, and the body has to react to that, right? Like when you're kind of sick, when you have a flu, when you have a cold, you don't feel 100, you don't feel great, and there's a reason for that. Your body is trying to fix, it's putting its attention on something else that needs its attention to fix it. And that takes our frequency down. And so, with all this said, this is all just beautiful marketing. I really can't hate. I'm a sales director. Like, I understand what's going on here from that perspective. And there's a reality to our frequencies and our vibrations and what that means for our life and our realities that we can have. Since I separated from drinking when I was 26, and since I separated from, and I'm not perfect, but remove most processed foods in my life, not only are the thoughts that I think like so much happier and better and more unique and humble to me and honest, and I'm happy and I'm excitable and excited, but I also then notice that the things that come to me are the same way. Happy people, excited people, awesome job opportunities. I mean, I have this YouTube channel where I get to talk to people like you about really cool, interesting stuff. I never had that before. Cool hobbies that I get to be involved with, like archery. Interesting people I'm around, like they have super cool, like things that they want to talk about. It's not just dumb reality TV show stuff. I'm not hating on it. I know some people like that, but like I get bored with that kind of stuff. I want to talk about, what's going on in science and what's happening with, the world and what's going on in nature, and like let's go do cool camping trips and that kind of stuff. Like that, those types of people came into my life when I naturally started feeling better, meaning my frequency rose up. And it's incredible what that can do for our lives, but it's a real thing that I don't think we pay attention to. Our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts create our reality completely. And if our thoughts are always anxious or negative because we're in a constant state of recovery from whatever it is that we're consuming or not consuming, whatever that is, like we're gonna have a life that's less than what it could and should be. We're gonna like suffer, and our frequency, our vibrations down. But instead, we could have a life full of amazing people and amazing life experiences and good food and good nights sleeping, and you look good. It's not like you're insecure about the way you look. You like the way you look. You like the clothes that you're wearing. You feel good in the clothes you're wearing. Therefore, you act differently, and then you attract different men or women into your life who you like the way they look, and then you both like the way each other looks. And then from there, you're excited. You get a job opportunity that pays you better, and because of that, you're around people that inspire you because they're also good at what they do and they're confident in what they do. And then from that, you build another project, and then maybe you become an entrepreneur, and you see how it goes. It's like there's so much more to our realities than what we've been taught and told and sold. And I do feel like the more life I've lived, the more I'm like, okay, I'm gonna maybe take another look at the thing that everybody is doing. Like everybody's eating all this ultra processed foods and everybody's drinking on the weekends. Like I question that now. Like the things that everybody does that mean that they're actually good, or is that just people doing what everybody else does because that's the marketing and the sales genius behind it? Thoughts create our realities. That's something I've really come to learn, and I'm so grateful I learned it because it's given me such an awesome freaking life. And it's not like I'm perfect, but I'm not saying this from like, I have no problems, but man, I stopped drinking 6 years ago. Total life hack. The good stuff keeps on coming, I'm telling you. And I started doing carnivore years ago. I don't even remember how long, but years. And absolute life hack, at least 4 years ago. And it's totally changed my reality too. And these are things that most people think are weird, particularly the carnivore thing. People are like, that's weird. But you know what? Like, marketing and sales is a thing. Subliminal messaging is a thing. And being a sales director and a marketing director, I feel like that's given me a little bit of an advantage. I'm not a marketing director, a sales director. It's giving me a little bit of an advantage to maybe see through the storytelling of it all. And maybe I can shed some of that light to you based off of my experiences and all that. And maybe, I don't know, you to me too. I'd love to see your thoughts. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this. I'm so curious. You know, we do live in a reality where there's so much more than what we've been taught and told and sold. So much more. And you can be the person you want to be. You can look the way you want to look. You can act the way you want to act and feel the way you want to feel. You can play with your kids and meet the love of your life. And you can have good feeling thoughts. And you can, you know, feel good in your body. And you can be excited about the day. And, you know, I'm saying all of this. I was on antidepressants for 10 years. I dropped out of college. I used to make $40,000 a year living at my mom's apartment, paying her half of the rent because I couldn't afford it. I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, and our realities are so much bigger, so much bigger. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment, subscribe if you're into this kind of stuff. I talk about all things human optimization, exploration, life hacks. Share if you think somebody needs to see this. I think I already said that. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little walk with me. It's absolutely gorgeous outside, and I'm gonna go home, get myself my running shoes, and going around. All right, guys, see you on the next one. See ya.